Franchise 195.
There you go.
Yep, Daniel Ehrenberg, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And here we have HP. That's right. Leatherface himself, Henry Papali. I call him Leatherface because he's old. His skin has a leathery quality to it.
Right, that's me. Old Robert Redford over here. That's right. That's right.
Henry texted me the other day. Just said all is lost.
Yeah.
Oh, HP. We're still talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, thanks to the great patron of the podcast, Evil Chris. And boy, are we loving this franchise. Great movies all around.
Oh yeah, it's 100% home runs.
Okay,
it's a 400 batting average right now.
But for serious, to catch you up last week, I loved that first one. What a classic it is! I gave it a 5. Henry popped out a 3. Then the second one I watched for the first time, loving it. Gave it a 4. Henry gave it a 2 or a 1.
No, that would be a 1.
A 1, of course.
Yeah, that was
okay. Now, after giving Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, a movie, that had some things on its mind and some artistic merit and some craft behind it.
Oh my!
I'm interested to see what you thought about the 2 movies we're covering today.
Sure, and IU.
Great.
Yes. I already have a theory. I have it mapped out in my head what your opinions are, but we'll see.
Henry's got a theory.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I feel a prediction.
A prediction? Henry, I don't ever say I've got a theory on this podcast. It almost made me launch into the song I've Got a Theory from the Buffy musical, and nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody except me.
No, you? You want to hear that?
I'm always a fan of a musical number on the show. You know that.
Sure. I've got a theory. It could be demons. A dancing demon. No, something isn't right there. I've got a theory. Some kids are dreaming, and we're stuck in someone's wacky Broadway nightmare. I've got a theory. We can work it out. How about that? That's off the dome. I haven't watched that in years.
Wow. That's a great rendition of something that would probably be truly intolerable.
Already turned off everyone who tuned into this specifically for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I like that. It's a good tone for this episode.
Sure.
Musicals.
Right, so today we're covering Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre III, as well as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. I gotta tell you, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is already such a long title. We can't add this much to all of them. We can't have 17 words per title on these movies.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it, but it is difficult when you're covering 8 films. Friday the 13th was so much easier. You're just like part 1, part 2, part 3.
They even got too fancy with the part, Henry. I think the move is Saw. Saw 2, Saw 3.
Can't do that now. Yeah.
No, you gotta have a colon. Everything's gotta have a colon.
I mean, you can't. Now there is a Saw.
What do you mean?
Saw, the movie. Saw.
No, that's what I'm saying. That franchise got it right. They just pop a number.
I thought you were going to try to truncate the already existing Texas Chainsaw.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw. FYI, not a bad idea. The first one should have just been called Saw.
Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
No, I do feel like you have to have Texas in the title. I think that's what differentiates these slasher movies.
Yeah.
I feel like most slasher movies are in like a suburban town. I like that these are on like gross roads.
This is true. These are in places you don't want to be. These are in stereotypical places you think of in your head when people say Texas and you're like, oh man, I don't want to go to Texas.
Oh, well, I think about that just about the entire middle of the country.
Right. I know. I get it. I mean, I think about that in the South too.
Oh, like, God, yeah.
Some barren country road where I know my car is going to break down.
Let's be honest. There are only 4 states that are civilized.
Boy, can I guess?
Go ahead.
Jeez. New York, I know you're going to say.
Yeah.
California?
Sure.
You can't. You're not going to say Florida.
No, of course not.
No. Oregon.
Well, I was going to say Oregon. Well done.
Wow. Okay. I got to pick something in another state in the Northeast.
No.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know, maybe Massachusetts.
No, they're a mess up there. I'm gonna go with Washington State. I feel like they've got it together.
I was gonna say Washington State, but now they got 6 cases of the coronavirus. You don't want any parts.
Well,
of
they've
that,
got that all over the place. We're all gonna die of corona.
Yeah, that's fine. But
hey, Henry, only if it's a corona.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I would have died of coronavirus 10 years ago if it meant anything.
Listen, I'm cheap. I drink Modelo. I'm not about the coronavirus.
Great point. Modelo. If you want to stay safe, just drink Modelo and you get the Modelo virus.
Listen, these are hacky jokes that I've already made on Twitter, and I want to say...
Nobody knows about Twitter.
I hope I get the coronavirus, Henry. I'm putting that out there. What a way to go.
Yeah, respiratory failure, fever, chills.
I think it'd be good for you, Henry. If I died of corona, people would start listening to this podcast. You might get a gig elsewhere.
So if you died of coronavirus, it would up the stakes because everybody would be like, "Oh my god!" What
if it was first Manhattanite, first person in Brooklyn to die of the coronavirus is an obscure podcaster.
Yeah.
I think it would up the listeners. I think people outside of the Netherlands might finally check out the show.
But then there'd be no show. It would just be me talking into a mic.
This is what I'm saying. I think you can get a gig elsewhere.
Doing another podcast.
Right.
All right. Could the podcast be about your death and the coronavirus? Just the whole show?
You want to do a health podcast?
No, just each episode. It'd be how it hit you and, your final hours.
I'd like you to do a Patreon-only podcast that's an investigation to my whole life starting from my birth.
I think we've been doing that show for 4 years.
That's pretty much what the show is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a confessional. Yeah. All
right, Henry. It's been a while since my last confession. 1 week. And
how do you know that those are the opening words for the? You've watched enough.
What are
movies.
you talking about?
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone confess. Read one goddamn issue of Daredevil. You know how confession works.
That's a great point. There's Catholicism spewed all over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe that's why I relate to that.
Fucking Malkovich had a huge confession on the new Pope last week.
Yeah, that he did.
Holy shit, that Branix.
I'm only halfway through the latest episode.
What's wrong with you?
I'm very behind on my television. But Jude Law is alive and well, 32 minutes in.
Great stuff. All right, Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre III comes to us years after that last one. Many years.
Well, 4 years.
Well, I had to look it up, Henry. Yeah, 4 years. And we have a new director and writer involved. It's all different. The new director is a fella by the name of Jeff Burr. And we've covered him, Henry.
Okay. Yeah, he does a lot of horror.
He sure does. Lots of horror sequels. He got his start with a film called From a Whisper to a Scream. Which it looks like maybe an anthology.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Vincent Price is in it.
Yikes! Yes, he is.
And Terry Kaiser. How about that? He followed that up with The Stepfather 2, which I've never seen, but The Stepfather 1 is one of the greatest movies ever made. Right. Then, of course, Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. But this is what he's basically done with his entire career. He did Pumpkinhead 2. He did Puppet Master 4 and 5.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's a professional sequel maker.
Yeah. It looks like he directed a Puppet Master movie just a year ago.
Now, you said we covered him.
Oh, I guess I was thinking of somebody else, Henry. Sorry.
Yeah, you were.
All right. Maybe I was thinking, this is who I was thinking of, the writer of this movie, David J. Show, who, of course, got his start as an actor. Okay, maybe not as an actor, but he's worked in Hollywood for a while. But he fucking wrote Critters 3 and 4, which we've covered.
Oh, right. Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you don't count uncredited stuff. So okay, yeah.
What do you see uncredited?
Nightmare on Elm Street 5: The Dream Child.
That's bullshit. You love that movie though. That's
Was
that one that you and Jason loved for no reason.
okay. All
Don't you
right,
remember
yeah.
that?
Well, I remember
There's an
only
entire podcast that exists with two dudes just defending Nightmare on Elm Street 5 The Dream Child against me.
that. Oh, it's yeah. This is the only Nightmare one that I kind of even remotely liked, as I recall.
I feel like we should have Jason on next week. Yeah, I'm not used to having the third week of a horror franchise go by without Jason Anthony.
Yeah,
Harris.
it's not Spooktober.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
He also worked on The Crow, this guy, and ever since then he's done a lot of work on TV, mostly on anthologies like Masters of Horror and the current Creep Show on Shudder. There.
oh, okay.
Oh boy. Okay. Burr was actually fired early on in filming. Do you know that, the director?
No.
Yeah, and they offered the film to a number of other directors, including a young Peter Jackson.
Oh yeah, I read that.
And also a young Tom Savini, who I think chose to do the Nightmare on Elm Street not Nightmare, Night of the Living Dead remake instead.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
He made the right move.
I think so. And so when nobody else wanted to do it, they just hired back Jeff Burr.
Well,
I mean,
that's
what a
embarrassing.
call! What a call
That's
to
real
make!
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh God, he should have been like, "Fuck off."
I feel like he should have gone nuts, made some kind of phantasmagorical insanity after that.
Well, I think
Like, they
that
can't fire him; he's immune.
Yeah. Well, at this point, from what else it said, it feels like he tried to, but he got like 5 key minutes cut from this thing, and you can feel it in the very weird editing in the movie. But we'll
This
get
was
to
the
that.
final film ever, Henry, to be given the X rating by the MPAA, pre NC-17, and they had to edit a bunch of it down to get the R. And I'll tell you what, this is a short movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna say right off the bat, I'm gonna ask you, what do you think that I thought of this film?
I think probably the length helped you, but no, this is a bad movie.
The length helped me a lot. The
By the way, I counted, if you take out credits and the opening scroll catching you up, this movie is an hour and 15 minutes long.
fucking beautiful. Yeah. Was this movie for me after the horrors of sitting through 2 was kind of what I needed.
I think you're crazy.
This is more like, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Friday the 13th Part 6.
No, this didn't. Part 6. Jason Lives?
The one that I like, the Fast Jason.
That's crazy.
I liked the I'm not, I have to make it clear though, I do have a rating that's not favorable.
This is barely a movie.
It's not a favorable rating I gave it, but this was just very direct, very straight to the point. It's kind of just a straight up chase movie in the dark. It was just fine for what I needed from a third Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Okay, this was released January 12th, 1990. Wow, one of the first films of the 1990s.
Historic.
Yeah, it is historic. Like Tango and Cash, right? Isn't that the last movie of the 1980s? Oh, this movie made $5.7 million at the box office. It's not what they wanted. New Line specifically got the rights to the Texas Chainsaw franchise because Nightmare on Elm Street was wrapping up. They'd had that milking money for them for like 10 years. And they were readying Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare, Henry. You remember that movie?
Mm-hmm. I do, vaguely.
You'll recall that in that movie, the intention was Freddy is now going to be dead.
Okay.
Right, so we're not going to make any more Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And New Line believed that.
That was stupid.
Right, so they bought the rights to Texas Chainsaw, hoping to sort of replace the Nightmare on Elm Street movies on its schedule. and to replace Freddy in particular with Leatherface, which is why you don't really get the other classic members of the family in this movie. They're really trying to play up Leatherface. He's going to be your next big, horror hero.
Well, that's what I assumed when they called it like this, but I didn't know that it had anything to do with them not being able to, or not wanting, rather, the old people who were in it before. However, one person keeps showing up.
Every fucking movie. Wait, are you talking about the dude who played Leatherface?
No, I was talking about fucking Haggerty.
Who?
Sally Haggerty. Who, when she shows up in 4, I still don't recognize her. You know what I'm talking about at the end?
Oh yeah, I know, but she's just doing cameos and shit.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, I've been reading every time we cover one of these movies, the dude who played Leatherface in the original, they want to bring him back, and then he asks for too much money. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? What career do you have that you can ask for money?
Yeah, I guess he
do it for free.
What did he think? I mean, had it become that much of a? I mean, this is 16 years later. So I mean, would he have had the? No, he wouldn't have any clout. But I mean, also what he wouldn't have is apparently their big desire to have, like, when they try to get Robert Englund back all the time.
Englund's the only one, man. I hate all these other nerds that think they deserve any recognition for, like, playing the horror guy. I don't know if you noticed the credits, Henry, but the stunt coordinator on this third Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is a little fella named Kane Hodder.
I did see that.
That's right.
I did see that.
Who played Jason in a couple movies. So I believe we have reached the Kane Hodder era of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
All right. So he's not above being a stunt coordinator.
No, but
right?
but remember, he got all butthurt when they didn't bring him back for Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
These fucking idiots.
Their bodies behind the masks. And
I mean, I'm supposed to be freaking out about who's wearing the Scream costume.
Yeah, well, that crowd's out there. We talked about that.
I mean, horror movie nerds are almost as bad as, like, comic book nerds.
I was just going to ask you, are they worse?
They are not worse. No, comic book nerds are the worst.
Yeah.
But horror
movie nerds, they get on shit that I wouldn't think about. That's what separates them. The comic book nerds always get on stuff that I feel like I get it. It's easy to pinpoint. With the
that's only because you know more about comic books.
Maybe, but like with the horror movie nerds, I never understand what exactly they're picking. It's the strangest shit.
Kane Hodder, he really brings a lumbering presence to Jason that I respect. It's scary to me, when he gets put acid on his head in Manhattan, and then he reverts back to being a baby. I thought Kane Hodder brought something extra to that moment.
I cared for when the house in the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I heard they're not using the original house in the 4th one. It's bullshit. I
heard they're using balsa wood in the 4th one to build the house, and I think it looks much better with oak, frankly.
Clearly, you can see the sledgehammer was not purchased at the same hardwood store.
It's always that, man. The mask looks weird. Guys, the mask. I don't get it.
The plot or the story or the direction.
Why'd they make his lapels red in this one? The lapels are wrong.
Having said that, Leatherface is getting better and better wigs.
Oh, well, he's getting more and more wigs, too.
That's right. He's got a big selection now. Bigger budget.
And more skin. He's using lady skin in the 4th one.
Yeah, I think there was a little Silence of the Lambs watching going on there.
Well, we'll get to it. I have some things to say about it. I don't know why I said well like Vanessa Bayer as Jacob the Bar Mitzvah boy. But, Henry... this movie came in at number 119 at the box office for 1990. It made slightly less than a film called Stanley and Iris. Do you know what that is?
Robert De Niro and Jane Fonda romance.
Did you make that up?
Nope.
Is that not Frankie and Johnny?
That's the 1991.
I know, but Pacino Pfeiffer, right?
Yeah, Stanley and Iris. I believe Stanley, played by De Niro, has some sort of mental ailment.
Oh, great. Was it a real Oscar pull for him?
I'm pretty sure. I don't remember what it was, though. Maybe he's just illiterate.
A struggling widow falls in love with an illiterate short-order cook whom
Whoa!
she teaches to
I've
read
never-
and write in her kitchen each night. It's sort of like a love story version of that movie In Her Shoes.
There you go. I just pulled that out, man. I've never even seen that movie.
Listen to this. In 1990, Jane Fonda was getting top billing over Robert De Niro.
That was if it came out before Goodfellas, De Niro. No, I don't know why that would happen.
It's an interesting time.
Yeah, it is a weird time. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Plus, Fonda was pretty infrequent a guest in a movie in those days.
No, you're right. It's a big event when Fonda shows up. I think that might have been her last movie before Monster-in-Law.
That's a long time.
She went away for a long time, right? Now,
Yeah,
now she's back getting arrested and stuff.
She was in the Hanoi Hilton for about 11 years.
What's that? Is that a movie?
No, that's the.
Sounds like it would be a soap opera. She did 11 seasons on the Hanoi Hilton.
That's the thing that the prison where John McCain was held in Vietnam, and then everyone called Jane Fonda Hanoi Jane. Don't you remember that? Because she was a peacenik.
Yeah, right.
Veterans hate her. Yeah.
Veterans do hate her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep.
I don't think veterans are veterans for their opinions. Sorry. I support the troops.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
Oh, Henry.
Hey, broker to deal with the Taliban. That's exciting. All right.
Who's dealing with the Taliban? Oh, right. We did that this
good
week.
stuff.
Great stuff.
I like it.
Great stuff. Give it up for Mike Pence handling that coronavirus, doing a great job out there.
Man, put the guy in charge who doesn't believe in evolution in charge of the science department. That's what they call it, the White House, the science department.
Put him in charge of the science.
It's the Department of Earth Science.
Oh, Henry. So we get a scroll at the beginning of the movie, and
These love fucking scrolls.
they do.
Man.
They do. I wish we were still getting John Larroquette. They could have gotten him.
He was busy doing
Night Court at this point.
Monster House with Kirstie Alley.
What's that?
Boy, I'm just pulling them out. 1990 movies, huh?
What's Monster? Listen, I was 4.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that the other movie it was
Madhouse. Sorry, Madhouse.
Oh.
Madhouse.
The other movie it was around was Hardware, which is a movie I actually like.
That I don't know at all.
Oh, really?
Nope.
It's like a low budget weird movie. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like Upgrade or Delicatessen. One of those.
Sure. I don't know Hardware.
It's a good movie. Madhouse. I'm looking it up. I can't find it. I think you made it up.
Oh, saw it in theaters when I was 12.
I don't believe you. Who's in it?
Kirstie Alley and John Larroquette.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna look up Kirstie Alley, Henry. She was on Cheers at the time. She's 69 years old. High five. She was in 1990. A movie called Madhouse. Here it is. It just didn't come up because nobody knows about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's her and John Larroquette. You nailed it.
Yeah,
Written and directed by Tom Ropolowski, Henry.
Who the fuck was that?
Oh, he made Look Who's Talking 3.
Kirstie Alley.
Oh, great point. He loves working with Kirstie.
I had such a thing for her when I was young.
Of course. When she was Rebecca, she was amazing.
My Lord.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch Fat Actress?
What do you think? Do you think I tuned in for that?
I don't know. It was 2005. You like Kirstie Alley. Maybe you gave it an episode?
Nah, I didn't do it.
Never.
Mm-mm.
Never tuned into Fat Actress.
No.
What about Veronica's Closet?
Nah.
Never?
No.
I watched 3 seasons of that show. Here's the only thing I remember about it, Henry.
What's that?
The male lead of it was Ron Silver.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then after like the first or maybe second season, they wrote Ron Silver off the show because they wanted her to like date other guys.
Yeah.
And the explanation they came up with was that he went on some sort of weird vacation and fell in a volcano.
That's creative.
Yeah,
That's creative.
that always
That's
stuck. Anytime anyone brings up Veronica's Closet, happens every day. My
Yeah.
first thought is, oh, that's that show where Ron Silver fell in a volcano.
Ron Silver, what a weird fucking guy, man.
He's dead, man.
Yeah, I know.
Loved Ron Silver, though. Great on The West Wing.
He was in Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Sure. I feel like he had a good role in like maybe a Seagal or a Van Damme movie at some point.
Oh, yeah. He's always a bad guy. He's in The Arrival with Charlie Sheen.
Great point. The Arrival with Charlie Sheen. What a film. By the way, Time Cop is what I was thinking of. He's in that.
Oh, okay. He was very good friends with Philip Roth until they had a very volatile argument over George W. Bush, and then their friendship ended.
Who was pro-Bush?
Ron Silver.
Ron Silver. Come on, you're a Jew. Get it together.
He spoke at the 2004 convention. I remember watching it.
To a chair?
Well, yes, in a Republican audience.
Yeah, I thought that. Oh, it's political tonight. Henry, part of the scroll, I have to say, is we're told that Sally from the first movie died in a hospital in 1977?
Yeah, I look, man, no one's thinking through anything again anymore.
I know. What is it with these horror franchises that makes it impossible to keep up with continuity?
They just don't. It's this weird mixture where they're trying to do this thing where they're referencing the past, but with
stop doing the scrolls.
Right. I was just gonna say, we saw Sally Hardesty. You can leave her out of it. You don't have to bring her up.
You
don't
kill
have to
her. You kill off the main character of the one great movie in your franchise. The main. It'd be like if in fucking Halloween 4. I think they did do this in Halloween 4. They just said like Laurie Strode was dead.
Oh, did they?
I think
the one
so.
With the little girl.
Yeah,
the little girl. Yeah. And then they say that she's dead, and then apparently we see her in the fourth Leatherface, but fourth Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
But I never know in these movies which of them we're supposed to be counting.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I don't know.
It's so confusing.
It's a toughie.
At least now with horror movies, they all have stupid continuity, but they'll come out and tell you, like, okay, gang, it's always in like the press materials now. The new Child's Play. We're counting the first one, the third one, the fourth one, not the fifth one, and parts of the sixth and seventh, just characters.
Kind of like Terminator. Yeah.
It's exactly like fucking Terminator. Here, okay, we're making this new movie. We're going to spend $600 million on it. And the premise of it is those last 3 movies you watch, we're going to pretend they didn't happen.
Right.
That's what we're doing with movies now. Every movie we see, we're supposed to pretend other movies didn't get made.
Wouldn't it be great if they just said that when they made the movie that they wanted you to forget right away? So, like,
how about just make a good movie in the first place, and then if you don't, stop making them.
But they could just put they could do a scroll at the beginning of Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines that tells you what's happening, and at the bottom in parentheses goes footnote. What you're about to witness may not actually matter in the future installments.
I think they really should. They should put it in the trailer. Anytime you see a trailer for a franchise movie, there should be like an asterisk at the bottom. This movie may not matter ultimately.
They should get the same advertisers as The Cottage.
The Cottage. How many Cottage references are we going to make on this podcast? Nobody knows what it is.
I want to make.
Hey, if you want to, Henry, you could go into it on Google Earth. You know how, like, on Google
Get
Earth,
out.
I swear to God, you know how you can enter certain places on Google Earth? You could do that with The Cottage. I've done it.
Go. You can.
So if anyone wants to know what the interior of the Chinese place that we used to drink wine at looks like, you can
Yeah.
find that on Google Earth, the cottage, New York
That's
City.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
check it out. It's very, very, very
Maybe you'll
mediocre.
see us. Maybe we were there on the day they took the
Oh,
snapshots.
right. Because
Yeah.
they're always, yeah. Ordering our 9th free carafe.
Oh, where are we? It's the other part of the scroll is like maybe everybody got killed, and it seems like somebody went into the gas chamber who claimed to be Leatherface, but we don't know
Right.
if it was a split personality situation. It's nonsense. But I mean, whatever. Leatherface is alive.
It even says like, if so, then there's nothing to fear.
But if
But
not,
if not,
there's things to fear.
yeah. It's like an
Leatherface.
intro. It's like an Alcatraz intro.
Oh yeah.
Or else.
No, we don't remember what it is.
No, but
We have
just
to look
made
it
up.
up. Alcatraz theme. So what happens next? It looks like some bodies were uncovered. It's a
Yeah.
lot like the cemetery thing at the beginning of the first one.
Yeah, we get some guys in some outbreak costumes. They are exhuming rotting corpses from a muddy field. We get a slight treatise upon what happens to a body if it's not buried properly from my LVP of the movie. That's Ryan.
Who's Ryan? I don't remember any of the characters.
Right. That's an actor named William Butler. He's the guy with the glasses who's sort of, kind of, not really, but is her boyfriend, Kate Hodge, who I thought actually was very good in this movie. I thought she was one of the stronger female protagonists we've had.
Hang on, I'm looking up this movie again. It's been a while. I mean, a couple days. It's not a memorable movie.
No, but it's what like I said, it was a tonic for me from.
Oh right, Kate Hodge. She's all right. She's cute. She was all right in the movie. It's fine.
She's fierce.
She's fierce. I guess she's still working today. I see her and stuff.
I know she's fierce. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's there, and right, her. I don't think it's her boyfriend. This guy Ryan.
It's weird because they say they're taking a trip, and they're driving across country to spend time together before she goes away to England.
I think it's the kind of thing they're fucking. It matters to him. It doesn't matter so much to her.
Yeah, I think so.
She's a rich girl. She's delivering her dad's car from California to Florida. That's the premise of the movie.
Right.
Sort of the same premise as that Jonathan Shayak vampire movie. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
The Forsaken, I think it's called.
Oh, wow. No, not at all.
Yeah. So that's what's going on in this movie, but huge stopover in Texas. We're told about 17 different times how many bodies they uncovered, but it's a different number every time. So
Yeah.
I can confirm that it is somewhere between 40 and 70 bodies.
That's
Either way, a lot.
That's a lot of bodies, especially if we're to infer all by one family. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't really understood this since 2, 3, and 4. They're killing all these people, but I mean, the point in the first movie was the horror of it was sort of that a lot of it was, they're using the parts, they're eating everyone. So why are these people just murdered and buried? I don't get the connection. I mean, you're either doing one or you're doing the other. I don't get
No, I think these were the scraps. I think what's happened, Henry, is we are still eating people, but we are, I feel like we have to move so much at this point. We're not just living in that house that we don't have time to convert their bones into furniture and silverware and lamps and things like that. And so we're just burying.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. No,
I didn't notice that many bone lamps in these two.
No, in
or
4,
chairs.
I noticed in 4 a spinal chair.
I did notice that as well, but it seemed like just fulfilling a remit. Rather,
Yeah. It's an afterthought. All right, so the opening sequence, I was worried because I really wasn't in the mood for more unnecessary sick gore that's just not entertaining. But then there's not really much of it that much again. I mean, he's cutting a face over the opening credits.
Oh, right. There's that weird opening credit sequence. It's supposed to actually be a reference, I read, to the first Nightmare on Elm Street, which begins with Freddy, like, fashioning his knives, you know?
That's what it's a reference
Like, building his glove.
That's very oblique.
Well,
I wouldn't.
they're trying to make this like the beginning of a new slasher franchise, basically,
Sure.
and so they have Leatherface like fashioning his leather face
Got it.
while a lady watches in the corner.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. So they go to a gas station. They meet a guy who's a pervert. He's like peeping Tomming on Kate Hodge in the bathroom. And
Right.
then Viggo Mortensen, who's seems to be a customer, defends them. But it's like the first movie in that every character you meet turns out to be involved. Oh, excuse me, meet, no pun intended. Every
Nice.
character you meet.
That's correct.
Yeah. It doesn't turn out they're just part of the crew.
Yeah, I got to tell you, totally fooled by Vigo's turn.
I wasn't.
Yeah, I was totally fooled. I think it's just from it's looking back, and we just covered Vigo on our Patreon episode. We ranked all his movies, and I just wasn't buying that he was going to be the bad guy in this. I didn't know.
You know what my favorite Viggo movie is? Ghostbusters 2.
That is a great Vigo movie. It's the last thing he said before his head died.
That's right.
It's one of the only good lines in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and defend Ghostbusters 2.
No, you're not.
I'm not going to answer that call.
Don't answer it. Don't answer that call.
All right, so they run away, and in the distance they see the pervert guy shoot Viggo Mortensen. They're freaked out by that, and they run away, and they run into some cars. A lot of car accidents in these movies.
There's quite a few, and they're not very well staged. I had trouble seeing, much like the drivers, who was hitting who.
It always seems like the hero's fault.
Yeah, they don't. Like in a lot of horror movies, the teens never are able to start the cars or find the cars. I think they have too much access to vehicles in these movies. They've got access in 4 as well. Maybe just take public transportation. Everybody would be safe.
That would be amazing if they were just constantly taking buses in these movies.
Buses and Texas cabs.
Oh, okay. So then they end up in the woods. They meet the black fella. Forey is his name, right? Ken Forey.
Benny is the character. Yes, right.
That's right. And of course, I immediately recognized him as Keenan's dad from Keenan and Kel.
He seems to have done a lot of work, this guy.
What'd you know him from?
Nothing. But when I looked up his filmography, he's been in a shit ton of stuff. So, yeah.
Put me in the mood for some orange soda, am I right?
I don't get that joke.
It's a classic Keenan and Kel reference.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, man. That's
What are you talking about?
The Nickelodeon show.
But you know Keenan.
You were 10.
You know Keenan as well as Kel, I would think.
Yeah, but I didn't fucking know it. Yeah, he was in a lot of TV shows, but he was also in the original Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's been around a lot. I think he might be in another of the Dead movies. Maybe the remake.
Yes, he is. He is also in, I think it's Land of the Dead. No, he's in the remake of the Dawn of the Dead, like you said, yeah. And the Rob Zombie Halloween.
Oh, he's one of those guys. He got picked up by Zombie.
Everybody.
That's where all horror actors go to die now, is in
it's
shitty
true.
Rob Zombie movies.
It's true. He's like, hey, I'm redoing a hardcore version of Halloween, man. I saw you in that Texas 3. You interested?
Yeah, that's it. Rob Zombie, he's just like a connoisseur of shitty movies. And he pulls every decent actor that's ever been in shitty movies into his own shitty movies. He's like, hey, seems like this guy doesn't mind being in shit. You want to be in my own shit?
Hey, Pat Hingle. I was smoking a J with my lady on my couch in my trailer. I saw
you mean Sherry Moon?
Yeah, I saw you in Maximum Overdrive. You want to be in Land of 1,000 Corpses?
I just saw Pat Hingle in an old Twilight Zone.
Sure. Pat Hingle's been around like a record.
Great stuff. Oh, okay. So they're in the woods. It's dark. I don't like this whole section of movie in the woods.
I like it.
Ugh, boring.
Nah, I liked it because it's very simple. It's very simple. Benny is a completely unexplained guy who's a survivalist. He doesn't say what for, but he's just walking around in camo, and that him and his friends have a whole setup over yonder, and we never meet any of the other people.
It's funny. It's like it is like sort of a slasher movie trope where to have like one of the guys is a survivalist. We did it in Friday the 13th Part 4. We kind of did it in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, where it's like a dude who has like some weird connection to a previous movie, and he's like hiding out in the woods waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, and I kind of...
But this movie, he has nothing to do with anything. He's just out in the woods.
He doesn't, but I liked the addition of the character. I thought it was cool.
Well, it was certainly a male lead upgrade from that other fucking guy who bites it pretty quick.
Yeah, and I also love that he gives them what I thought he said were painkillers when they should really be awake, and they instantly start falling and tripping and losing consciousness in the middle of the dark.
But that was another weird thing, because, like, I'm not sure why okay, like, it does make sense that he would give them painkillers and that they would get drowsy, but for the purposes of the movie, that just... If we're going to be spending the rest of the night in these woods, that puts both of our main characters completely out of commission for the next, like, half hour of the movie.
Yeah, it's true.
And the movie's only, like, 45 minutes long.
Well, they regain consciousness and are able to shake off that ibuprofen.
And they find the house.
That they do. And
all right, so there's a mama, played by John Gulager's actual mom. You remember John Gulager from Project Greenlight, who directed Feast?
That's his mom?
Yeah, his real mom is this lady.
Does she really have a voice box in real life?
No, but I did think that was an interesting touch.
Yeah, it was. And then we get the poltergeist girl lookalike.
Oh my God, Carol Ann. Yeah, I thought that was pretty desperate to have a little girl.
Yeah, well, it didn't. I mean, it's a fucked up sequence. I mean, I think it's when Kate Hodge goes up to that room and the girl is like, I was actually a little creeped out. I mean, I thought there were some effective sequences in this movie.
But like, where did they come from? Because Leatherface is there. He's part of the family.
Yeah, barely. Yeah,
but like, and so is the grandpa, like the dead grandpa. Right.
I know. I don't understand the continuity in these movies actually at all.
Did he just like everyone else? I mean, I was trying to make it make sense in my brain. It seemed like the entire rest of the family died. He managed to salvage the corpse of the grandfather and managed to find a second fucking cannibal family in the backwoods of Texas. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
That's not that.
They're probably a dime a dozen out there.
Yeah, that's he just house hopped. Yeah, I mean, it is weird though. I mean, because you forgetting that you're retconning a lot of stuff. You're also trying to like constantly get familiar with new characters, but they're the same characters. There's the same grandpa,
but it's different. Like now, there's a mama. There was no woman previously, and now there's a little girl who is implied at one point to be Leatherface's child.
Yeah, can you explain that a little bit? Because you're right. That was like a passing through line like a throwaway line that I didn't.
Well, I wrote down this line from the mother.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Junior lacks them private parts, which we knew. Remember, he was very enamored of that girl's private parts in the last one. Stretch.
That's right. Right. Stretch.
Could have stretched her out, really.
Stretch.
Okay. Junior likes them private parts. We knows just what to do them parts. Course, I cut my own out years ago. Pause, too. So what's happening there? They castrated themselves? I wonder if they ate it.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, and then she says, Leatherface makes the sweetest babies. Which is implied. I mean, we're only privy to one child. Are there other? There's got to be like dead babies around. Are they having Leatherface impregnate people and then eating the babies?
maybe that's possible. I mean, look, any theory is possible with this franchise. You could say anything.
Oh,
'Cause, I
but
mean,
in the fucking next movie, we get government conspiracies.
oh yeah, baby, we get the Illuminati.
We do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I bet you didn't
I mean,
expect them to show up.
no, I sure didn't. That was part of like almost the Halloween 3 season of the witch stuff going on.
I
there.
was stuck behind somebody online at a bodega recently. I'm running late for work. I'm just trying to buy a Red Bull. And he was trying to explain to the bodega cashier about
boy.
the Illuminati. And he was taking out dollar bills from his wallet and laying them out on the counter and showing him like the eyes and the pyramids
Oh
and
my
stuff.
fuck's sake! Somebody watched Loose Change a little too much. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, great stuff.
Oh my.
Okay, so this part goes on for fucking ever, and
Yeah.
they kill everybody. I don't know. Benny fights Viggo Mortensen, and Leatherface chases Hodge into the woods. Everybody
Yeah.
wins. Leatherface seems to chop Benny right across the fucking head with a chainsaw, and he shows up nary a scratch seconds later.
I didn't know if it was it a chainsaw or like a hammer.
Either way.
Either way, it's.
I
Gonna
think it was a
hurt.
chainsaw. There's a lot of vring, vring in these movies.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah. I mean, essentially, this is just a pretty streamlined chase movie. It's straight up horror. There's not a lot of humor except the sick shit that Dan just said about the ma and pa.
Best part of the movie.
Yeah. See, not for me, but yeah, yeah. And I mean, you find out Vigo's a bad guy, and oh, is this the one where they make Leatherface the special chainsaw, like the gold one? The gold chainsaw. Remember that?
I think that might be in the next one. You're talking about the one that has like engraved
not the
in
next
it.
one. Not the next one. It might be 2, and we just never talked about it. He gets like a gold, engraved fucking.
But
Druidic
is it the one that says like this saw is your family? I think that's this one.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. I think. Yeah. That was exciting.
When you hear your family, when you're chopping people up for food, your family.
Vin Diesel.
Mm-hmm. Unlimited finger sticks.
Oh God! Oh, right.
Making an Olive Garden joke.
The Olive Garden.
Mm-hmm.
The Olive Garden. Yeah.
God,
yeah,
I love Italian food.
So do I, right?
Henry, I love Italian food, and there's no better than the Olive Garden.
Oh, it's the real deal. That's why.
Yeah.
It's unlimited bread.
Yeah.
Unlimited salad.
That's correct.
Bottomless salad.
A pasta. Pasta fazool.
If I want microwave pasta, I don't need to make it at home. I can go to Olive Garden.
Although you do make it at home every day. You don't microwave. Henry will boil some water and throw some shit in a pot.
Yeah, you never saw me microwave pasta. I microwave plenty of other shit, but not that.
This is what Henry did every day. He would get home from work.
We've talked about this, but
we have.
Go ahead.
Nothing. You'd put a lot of pasta.
A lot.
Yeah.
Much.
In a pot. You'd
That's right.
let it boil.
That's how
then
you make
you'd take it out. You'd put it in a bowl.
Right.
You'd slather it in red sauce, and then just pour mounds of Parmesan cheese on it.
I like my cheese.
He does.
Spaghetti.
And then he'd go into his room and watch Cinderella Man.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right. And Dan would be watching, The Bachelor season 14.
This was pre-Bachelor, Henry. I did not watch The Bachelor when I lived with you.
Watching Survivor season 88.
That might be right.
Yeah.
I remember rewatching Gilmore Girls and The OC while we were living together.
Okay. And then he'd knock on my door and be like, "Hey, dude, 10 minutes Celebrity Apprentice, just in case you're interested. I'd be like, I'll be out there.
And he would come out and watch.
I sure would.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It was the season with Teresa Giudice and that girl from the Pussycat Dolls.
The redhead.
Aubrey O'Day.
Yes, I got very drunk one evening and kept saying how hot they both were.
No. That was the thing. Henry would get drunk and talk about how hot Aubrey O'Day is. You knew that Henry was at the next level of drunk when he would start talking about how hot Teresa Giudice was.
I was on the Jim Morrison plane.
Yeah, I was like, Henry, you might want to slow down, bro. So it ends with my favorite line in the movie. We've been dealing with a lot of roadkill in this film. They ran over an armadillo at the beginning. I felt very bad for it. It was cute. But at the end of the movie, the pervert guy comes back for like one last scare or whatever. And I was like, it should have been Leatherface. The movie's called Leatherface.
Yeah,
give Leatherface things to do.
Yeah, did you notice something they showed but didn't really talk about or reference? That you see two animals. You see the armadillo, and then you see another one with like I think it's the wolf that gets thrown in their car, that has like a silver clip on their ear. It's almost like it's marked as part of the Leatherface clan. It's like part of. God. Yeah. They're like clipped animals that they send out into the wild to lure people. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
great.
Very. Yeah.
But yeah, and they toss that guy aside, and she goes, "There's roadkill all over Texas." He goes, damn straight.
But didn't she also say her final line when he says, "You don't know, you don't have the guts to shoot me," and she says something like, "Adios, motherfucker," or something like that.
Sure. I'm sure you're right.
So Benny and
and then you see Leatherface in the distance, vroom vrooming his chainsaw, so you know he's alive.
Is obviously going to be our staple for forever. And so Michelle and Benny drive off into the sunset. Presumably Michelle not so traumatized as
They seem fine. I think they're just going to bring the car the rest of the way to Florida.
Go to Florida.
They're definitely the least traumatized of anybody that's made it out of one of these movies.
Yeah, we didn't mention that sequence with the weird girl he finds in the woods. Remember when Benny
finds the girl that was watching Leatherface at the very beginning? It's like this weird subplot that goes nowhere, where these this girl and her brother or something, they've been in the woods for like a week or something. I think a lot of that storyline was left on the cutting room floor, which is why it doesn't really make sense or matter.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm for one was actually pretty grateful that we got some editing on this. I need a little break, so
I mean, I'm grateful. I don't need the level of gore that was in the second one necessarily, but I also would like the movie to hang together as a story.
I agree. That's my rating, too,
I mean, this movie is cut to fucking shreds.
It really is.
It's hard to make heads or tails of it. Honestly, you're just watching an hour and 15 minutes of like raw footage that seems to be put in the right order but doesn't connect to anything.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. What do you give it?
It's trash, but it's reasonably well shot trash. I thought, I know this Jeff Burr is not a super distinguished director, but I love that they make these movies look like Texas. All the movies were shot in Texas except for this one, and I didn't notice. I thought he did a good job of making it look like Texas.
Where was it shot? Like
California.
Oh.
I
guess you...
on those long stretches of highway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see a reason to necessarily shoot it in Texas. There's a lot of prairie dogs elsewhere. So you're giving it what?
I'll give it a 2. I was pretty close to a 1, but I'm going to give it a 2.
Nah, I was on the good side of a 2. This is on the good side of a 2.
That frustrates me that you're giving it a 2 a little bit.
Why is that?
Well, because I do really think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is like way better. like a much, much better movie.
But that's just that type of movie is just the total antithesis of what I want in a horror movie, and it's a lot of what you like in a horror movie, what a lot of people like. But like it just did not work for me. In fact, I started watching. I want to finish it, but I was started to rewatch Cabin in the Woods recently.
I recently rewatched it.
Oh yeah, and I hadn't seen it since I saw it the first time, and it's such a great example of a perfect balance with comedy and absolute fucking horrifying.
Well, because the dialogue is actually good, and that's hard to find in a horror movie.
But yeah, right. But it's also the pacing and the shooting, and nothing lingers. It's just so that's my level of what I like when I see a horror movie with humor in it. I mean, and so this one doesn't have the humor. It just goes straight through, like a chainsaw through butter. And I'm all right with the two.
You know what movie I'm pumped for, by the way, horror movie? The Hunt.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know what this is? This was supposed to get released in September. They pulled it from the schedule because conservatives were complaining about it. And now it's finally coming out in March. It's this crazy horror movie about like liberals versus conservatives killing each other, and it looks amazing. And Damon Lindelof wrote it.
Oh my God! Wow, holy shit! I'm gonna look into that one.
Yeah,
I didn't know anything about this. Okay, cool.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Okay, so I give it a 2. I really think the undeniable MVP of this movie is Benny. Ken Foree. The girl is fine. She's a serviceable, even good final girl for the movie. I think Viggo Mortensen gives a nascent, undistinguished performance. He's not bad, but I would never see this performance and think, like, that guy's a star.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with that.
But watching Next Generation, which we'll get to, like, I really do think both Zellweger and McConaughey, there's something there. That I don't see in Viggo in this one.
Well, Viggo, I mean, I think I was watching it entertained just because of the fact that he was there and just sort of like knowing what he was going on to do. It was like incredible that he was
sure,
even
of course,
in this
that's fun
thing.
for anything.
Right, and so I think Benny and Michelle are the best characters, but I did go with Michelle because I think she's like one of the of the first 3 movies. I think she's, aside from the first one where the last sequence with the girl Marilyn Burns, I think her name is.
Yeah, but
I think Kate Hodge is really good.
I think she's not as good as
really
Stretch.
Good. I think she's better, and
You're
I like
nuts.
Stretch. I liked her. I liked Stretch, but I liked Kate Hodge. She's my MVP. My LVP is that boring ass boyfriend.
Yeah, that guy is boring, and he's like too important to. Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll stick with that.
All right. Yeah, in your words, I would call that boyfriend a drip.
He is a bit of a fucking drip. I mean, and he's just like whining, like, why don't you want to like make out with me or whatever?
Yeah.
And even when they stop at the fucking gas station, he does nothing. They need Viggo Mortensen to step in.
Yeah. He's quite an effect.
I'm not asking him to be like some kind of action hero, but like have a personality for fuck's sake.
Well, he should do something. You know, you don't have to be an action hero to defend your girlfriend against some fucking weirdo, skinny little pervert.
I wish this was somebody. Like, if this was like Paul Michael Rudd or whatever it was, that would have been good.
There you
Paul
go.
Stephen Rudd, was it?
Paul Stephen Rudd. Yeah. All right.
You have a superhero count?
I do. I
Okay.
do. Here we go. All right. That's right. Benny Ken Foree, I guess we call him.
Yeah.
Foree. Was played the character Whisper in the TV series from the 90s, The Flash.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, great. Okay. Love it. Let's talk about the next one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Gen. That's what I'm going to call it. Next Gen.
All right. Now, I want to say right off the bat that I predicted that you would feel the way you did about the third one, and I was right. I was pretty much right that it would be the lesser of the two. I am convinced you like this more.
Henry, I gotta say, I saw this movie for the first time when I was very young. It had come out on VHS in the wake of Scream, and I was getting into horror movies. This one did not do it for me. I don't know what I was expecting. It might have honestly been the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I've seen.
All right, but that was back then.
Okay, now I have developed opinions. I have feelings. I know what I like. And I gotta say, we are starting this movie straight off the bat on the way to prom.
Yeah. See, I knew it. It's
Yeah,
very
so,
easy.
I loved it.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew when I watched 3 and I knew when I watched 4. I was like, I know how this show's going to go. We're going to have flipped opinions completely. Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about the weird background behind this movie. It's written and directed by Kim Henkel, who co-wrote that first movie.
Right.
So we're bringing royalty back to the franchise.
Yes.
This was made independently, without studio backing, in 1995 on a budget of $600,000. All right.
That's wow.
They got Kim Henkel. They were like, "This is how we're going to promote the movie. We got a guy from the original. You know, you got $600,000 to work with. Do what you want." And he certainly did, Henry. And this was originally titled "The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre." It screened at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, in 1995. And Columbia purchased it at the festival for $1.3 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's a decent amount of money, yeah. They said, we're going to promote the shit out of this. Get ready. They reneged on their promise. They briefly put it out for about 2 weeks on September 22nd, 1995. And then they pulled it from theaters. But they never released it on video. What happened was they held back. They knew Jerry Maguire was coming out soon, and that was likely to make Renee Zellweger a star. Okay. So they waited for Jerry Maguire, and they were going to release it right as Jerry Maguire was coming out. But Matthew McConaughey at this point had become a big enough star where he got his lawyers and especially his agents at CAA to go to the studio and try to block the release of the movie. Altogether. Which he succeeded at for a time. It finally was released August 29th, 1997, almost 3 years after it was made. Yeah. And it did nothing. It made $185,898 at the box office.
That's got to be the lowest box office of almost any movie we've ever covered.
It probably did better on video. I remember this being like a big video release because like they promoted, like I rented it because it was like Matthew McConaughey, Renee Zellweger, check it out.
And I never knew that either of them were in it until we did this show. I have to. So related to that, McConaughey had already been in Dazed and Confused. Mm. He had been
in that when they made this.
Right. That's what I mean. And then A Time to Kill, I guess he hadn't quite made yet.
Correct. That was made between making this and this being released.
So I'm just curious as a career choice why he would have done this movie.
He was still living in Texas. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It's 1995. He didn't have that much going on. I mean, Dazed and Confused was really his big credit.
Yeah.
He didn't really break out until, he did Time to Kill. Contact came out, I think, the same summer as this.
Right. I just mean, Dazed and Confused was just, I guess, such a cult movie back when it was made and even upon subsequent video release that he wasn't big enough where he could be like, I don't need to do this shit.
He was living in Texas too. They didn't make that many movies in Texas at the time. He did a John Sayles movie, he did a Richard Linklater movie, and he did a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what they make.
I know, but it's just a strange choice. It feels like something he'd pass on.
Also, he gets to be the villain, Henry. Actors like that.
Yeah, he got to do that in Killer Joe too. You didn't see that, but
No.
yeah. Oh boy.
He's
Yeah,
Vilmer in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, he is acting up a storm in this one.
He certainly is. So this ended up in 19. This is on 2 lists, box office lists. For 1995, this was the 260th highest grossing movie of the year.
Jeez.
Came right in between Moving the Mountain and For Better or Worse.
That I've heard of.
You have? What's that one?
For better or worse. Nah, I'm not going to knock it out of the park like I did with Stanley and Iris
Is that
in
based
Madhouse.
on the comic strip?
No, but I want to say Danny DeVito. I feel like
I gotta say you're close. It's not DeVito, but it is a short, bald man.
Bob Hoskins.
Jason Alexander,
There you go.
who also directed this movie.
Ooh, for better or worse. Yeah.
Listen to this. It's a love triangle movie, a comic love triangle, wherein Jason Alexander falls in love with his younger brother's wife. His younger brother, of course, played by James Woods, and the wife played by Lolita Davidovich. And
Ooh.
he directed the movie, Jason Alexander.
Nice.
And
Nice.
it was written by the guy who later went on to... He's franchise all-star, Henry. Wrote Speed 2, Rush Hour 2, Rush Hour 3... Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and the Lion King. All right.
Oh my God.
All right. So
Wow.
that's a great writer. And then what's Moving the Mountain? Do you know what that is? I think it's a doc. Okay. And then 249th on the 1997 box office. And it came right in between a Waco doc and Four Little Girls, the Spike Lee documentary.
Jeez.
Which I think premiered on HBO. So that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it did. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. TCM4, the next
No
gen.
one fucking cared.
No.
We get a scroll.
Yeah, that we do. That again.
It just basically brushes aside the last 2 movies.
Yeah, which I read was intentional.
Of course it was.
Yeah, like it wanted to just say it even called them.
I mean, did Kim Henkel even see the other 2 movies?
I don't know. Probably not. Kim, I'm a man, not a woman.
I bet he did. He seemed. I bet Kim Henkel sits at home watching those Texas Chainsaw movies, thinking I could do it better.
Yeah, and
he got the chance to prove it.
He did, and failed. But yeah,
he made it better than one of them, but not the other one.
Okay.
Yeah,
I want to hear the case.
we get a date. We don't usually get that. May 22nd, 1996. That's when this movie takes place.
Yeah.
I Googled it. I wanted to see if anything important happened on that date.
Wow, you are dedicated.
Yeah.
And?
Really nothing. It was a Wednesday. Which is weird. I don't know why they'd be having the prom on a Wednesday.
Maybe we had some primaries that year. Yeah, probably for the presidential election. Yeah.
96? Yeah.
Bob Dole.
We're gearing up for Atlanta. The Atlanta Olympics.
Richard Jewell time.
That's right, yeah.
Did you see that yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Sorry to hear that.
I will. I haven't really watched anything new lately. I'm just watching old stuff. I watched Rockstar today.
That movie sucks.
Henry, I think it's the story of you. I gotta tell you, I'm watching this movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg and Jennifer Aniston.
I don't recall making it big in a band.
No. I'm thinking this is the story of Henry if Lord Awesome got big.
So it'd be the story of the 3 of us then in the band.
I didn't. There weren't analogs for Aaron or Nathan in the movie. To me, though, watching that movie, I was like, this Mark Wahlberg character, this is Henry.
Wow.
I think you should watch it again.
I think I almost want to tell you to go fuck yourself, but
I'm being dead serious. I'm not trying to insult you at all. I legitimately had that thought.
He's like a real dumbass.
He's not a dumbass. He's earnest and idealistic, but like, listen, there's a lot of pussy coming at him, and he's having a hard time turning it down.
You're unbelievable. What's the band that he loves?
Steel Panther is the name of the band.
Steel Panther.
They're supposed to be Judas Priest.
Okay, sure.
Because the lead singer is like a gay dude, and he replaces him.
Okay, sure. The Rob Halford.
By the way, the cast of this movie is bonkers. The main
It's
guitarist,
Aniston, right?
well, yes, but the main guitarist in Steel Panther is Dominic fucking West.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
swear
I
to
remember
God,
that.
the main guitarist in his old band, like that he was in before Steel Panther, Timothy Olyphant.
Oh, you're happy about that.
It was a
Yeah.
mind blowing cast.
Wow.
You got Timothy Spall hanging around the background.
Right. He's like the British agent or something,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Yeah.
He's not an
Yeah.
agent. He's like the stage manager. And
Okay.
he's the one he like at the end of the movie he's like, Mark Wahlberg, I had a great love of my life and I threw it all away for all the pussy. And I think what you should do is go back out and find Jennifer Aniston.
He threw it all away for his investments in Wahlburgers.
And he says she showed up at a show a couple years ago. She'd married me best friend. And they had 3 gorgeous kids. And it was like seeing me life put in front of me. And here I am collecting pussy for Dominic West.
Wow.
And
That's
little
Mis-
buttholes for Rob Halford.
That's Mr. Turner, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Turner.
And
Timothy Spall.
Ratso Rizzo. What's his name in in Harry Potter?
Ratso Rizzo.
Templeton. What's his name?
What's his name? Say that
He
again.
turns into a rat. He's Scabbers.
Oh.
He's Ron's rat. We
Oh.
covered this. He's in The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah, no, I know, but I don't remember who the fucking actor is. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those.
Wormtail? No, it's Timothy Spall. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, right.
But-
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I thought you were
What
trying
is
to
that
fit.
character's name? Somebody tweet at me what Timothy Spall's character's name is in Harry Potter.
At Low Stakes Daniel.
At Low Stakes Daniel. Or at Pod Franchise.
Right.
People are back on the Henry should get on Twitter train, but I'm going to discourage you because it's a hellhole out there. I think I finally decided you're making the right decision.
Really? I
Yeah.
never thought I'd hear those words.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's just not a forum that I have any time for. I'm grateful.
I mean, that's the least of it.
Right, but I'm appreciative of the people who communicate because of the show. But in general, I think you would agree that the Twitter sphere, the Twitterverse, is very
It's dark.
detrimental to. It's bad. It's bad. You said you were going to take a break from it.
I did, and then I stopped the break, and I already want to take a break again.
Yeah.
It's rough.
However, I did go on there a little bit just to catch up, see what our listeners are saying. Some very funny stuff on there. It's better to be an outside observer of that stuff.
Yeah, but then you're just some weird fucking lurker.
Yeah, not really. You just it's like reading an ad. That's all it is. It's like reading an ad.
Robert Jacks plays Leatherface in this movie. Did you happen to notice he gets an introducing credit?
Yeah, which excited
That
me.
felt optimistic.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I knew that he'd be going on to great things.
Did you look him up?
No.
Well, he died at the age of 41.
Oh, he was my age. What'd he die of?
You know. Let's look
Something
it up.
bad. I'm something horrifying, I'm sure.
No, it's not that bad. I of course would remember it if it was like AIDS or something. He didn't die in 9/11, nothing like that.
Okay.
Here he is. He was apparently like a figure in Austin, like one of these like weirdos that was like around Austin all the time.
Oh, okay.
He died of an abdominal aneurysm, the thing that almost killed my father.
Really?
Actually, he died August 8th, 2001. Just missed 9/11. Good for him.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, got out while the going was good.
That is awful. My Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. He's, by the way, I will say for the record, and this includes Texas 2, he's my least favorite Leatherface.
I don't have an opinion because who could possibly?
I could, because I didn't need Leatherface to all of a sudden be squealing and screaming.
I don't need Leatherface in these movies. How about that?
Yeah, it's funny when we would on the show we were like talking about it would come up every once in a while, like who do we like better? What are their motivations? Michael Myers and Jason and Freddy, and we never once mentioned Leatherface.
Well, because he's not a character. I like the Leatherface family in the first two movies. Like that's kind of interesting, and it's a weird choice, and you can do things with it that you can't in the other horror franchises. But in these last two, we're just sort of ignoring that. We're throwing a bunch of weirdos around him, and we're just having him just be a guy with a chainsaw. Leatherface is so boring. Like,
Yeah,
I honestly think if you made a Texas Chainsaw movie without Leatherface, I don't know that I'd notice.
well, I feel like. Oh, I thought you were going to say the opposite because I feel like we're going to become. I could be wrong, but I feel like we're going to be coming up on one of these four movies where we only have Leatherface and probably nobody else, right?
That might be right.
I feel like it happens at one point, but you're right. You could really. The family is such a focus at this point,
Which makes sense in the first two, but then in these, we're just. It's not the same family. It's just a bunch of random people. Like, it was kind of fun in the second one to be like, oh, it's that guy.
Right. Yeah, the Sawyer family, by the way. Yes.
Is that their name?
The Sawyer family, yes. Yeah.
All right. Well, you don't know how many fucking families Leatherface has at this point. He's apparently impregnating a lot of women.
He's a procreator is what he is. He decreates and procreates at a rapid rate.
Do you think Stretch is the one that got away?
For Leatherface?
Yeah.
Oh, easily. I think the affection shown her.
I think he was a virgin at that point, and he didn't know how to fuck. And now he probably thinks about it a lot. Like, that might have been his first ever boner.
Right, and he could have maybe taken a different path in life if he would have maybe gone away
and been a great rapist? I don't think anyone's fucking Leatherface.
No, I mean, if Stretch would have fallen for him. And they went off into the Texas sunset.
In what universe was Stretch falling for Leatherface?
In this fucking universe.
Oh, God. I mean, yeah, this is the kind of movie where, like, heel turns come real willy-nilly.
Would that have shocked you? I mean, that would not have shocked me.
It would have disappointed me. I would have liked the movie less.
If at the end of this movie, Renee Zellweger, like, went off with Matthew McConaughey's character, I would not be shocked. I would not have been shocked.
Well, they have great chemistry.
They do when he's not bashing her head.
Kind of, yeah. I like the scene with them in the car together.
It's tense.
Yeah.
It's tense.
Sexually tense.
I haven't
Have
seen...
McConaughey and Zellweger never fucked in a movie? Because that seems weird.
Well, they were in Dazed and Confused together.
Yeah, they didn't fuck in that.
No.
He fucked Marissa Ribisi. Aerosmith next week, don't forget. I love them redheads. All right, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering, had they been in anything else after this?
Together?
They've got to be buds. They're both Texans. They've been in 2 movies together.
I feel like they should have been in something.
I feel like they were.
Connie could have done Down by Love or something.
Just covered both of them. I don't even know.
I think it was just Dazed and this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about it. What do we have here? How does it start? They're going to the prom. We've got great characters. Renee Zellweger's our lead. She is wearing glasses, and everyone thinks she's very ugly.
She is extremely ugly. She's very ugly.
That one dude is calling her a fucking dog over and over again.
He calls her a dog, and he calls her ugly to her face. And by the way, full confession, you first see that guy making out with some other girl behind a pillar, and when he turns his back, you don't see his face at first. I was like, oh my God, Ben Affleck's in this movie.
I would love it.
It looked exactly
huge Dazed and Confused reunion.
Yeah, from the back, it totally looked like Ben Affleck.
Yeah, this is before he got those fake teeth. He was still looking like he could be a hick.
I didn't know Ben Affleck had fake teeth.
Yeah, that's why he can't play non-rich people anymore. Because his teeth are too perfect.
Is that right?
After Armageddon, he got fake teeth. Look at his movies pre-Armageddon. His teeth are a little nubby.
Is that right?
He's got big white teeth after Armageddon.
Got some caps on there.
That's right.
Yeah. They give good dental in the SAG industry.
That's right. The SAG industry. Okay, so we got Zellweger. She's there with her not boyfriend, just like a friend of hers.
Yeah. Right. And
okay, then she's got a friend who's sort of a hotsy-totsy.
yes, she was my LVP.
I didn't mind her at all.
I hated every second she spoke.
Okay.
Lisa Marie Newmeyer played Heather.
Heather, right. Sean was Zellweger's lady, and then Heather's lady was this guy Barry. I love Barry as a bully name.
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
No, it's great. I genuinely love it. It's Ryan Phillippe's name in I Know What You Did Last Summer also. And I just think it's such a good bully name. It's also the name of the fat orthodontist who cheated on Jennifer Aniston, and that's why she leaves him at the altar in the first episode of Friends. Anytime you see a Barry in a movie, they're an asshole.
Yeah, but I always associated Barry as like a real wimpy guy.
Yeah, because of Barry Gibb. But I think...
interesting. Okay.
I mean, who else? I feel like Barrys are manly.
You feel like a Barry is a manly name?
Yeah. You know, my parents used to be friends with a guy named Barry, and he got arrested for stabbing his wife. It's a true story.
I can see why your view of the name has been colored, Tad. Did the wife live?
I gotta say, she did.
Okay, that's
yeah. Barbara and Barry. That were
Barbara
their
and
names.
Barry.
Yeah, look them up.
That's okay. Wow. Babs and Barry. Jesus Christ. I hope they cut the friendship short.
No, I don't. Yeah, they never really hung out with them again. That was like when we were living in Brooklyn when I was a kid.
Wonder how Barry's doing.
So they leave the prom, this foursome of people, and they're just driving around. They, of course, get into a car accident, but come out of it unscathed, keep driving, and then they get into a second car accident.
Yeah, like we said, there's a lot of car accidents, especially in these two movies.
And they hit somebody, and Barry gets out to investigate. I'm like, what am I watching? I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah, he sure does. Yeah.
Then they walk around. They need to figure out a way. They can't start the car. So right across the street from each other, there's a gas station with an attendant.
Haven't seen that before.
And we've got a small trailer with a weird sex pot lady in it.
Right. Weird. Fucking. Yeah. Right.
Now, she's my favorite character in the movie.
She's very good.
What's her name? Darla? Daria?
Yes. Darla. There's no Darias in Texas.
Okay, so she's in the trailer. That's not true. Daria took place in Texas, I believe.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It did?
Yeah, because Beavis and Butthead does, and Daria was a spinoff of that.
Wow. I don't think I ever
Because Mike
knew
Judge
that.
is from Austin, dude.
Right. But Daria always struck me as like, it's like some place in
Well, that's why she was like out of place, bro.
I didn't watch Daria, full confession. Yeah.
Missed out.
Yeah.
All right, so this sex pot in the trailer, Darla, she calls for help. She asks for Vilmer. Then she starts making weird blonde jokes. What do you call a blonde who puts her head out of the window?
Yeah, airhead.
She's refilling, she says, because she's an airhead.
Right.
Great stuff.
She takes the top off, too. That's
best moment in the entire movie. I loved that.
Can't disagree with that.
They're like, why'd you do that? And she was like, it's just a farmer's wife. I want to fuck with them. All the farmers' wives think I'm fucking all the farmers.
She's running a very prosperous real estate business in the middle of nowhere with one building, one desk, and a chair.
And she's fucking all the farmers, and the wives are getting mad. But then she's like, she thinks about it for a second. She thinks, maybe it's not a farmer's wife. Teens come by sometimes. They're just looking for me to flash them. When I was a teen, women, sure, maybe you are looking for someone to flash you. I mean, that's pie in the sky, hope.
Right.
But no one ever did it.
No, I was never flashed.
Oh, my God. One time when I was a teenager, I was walking around, and I happened to pass an open window, and there was a woman naked doing the dishes. It was the
Wow.
greatest thing that ever happened to me up to that
That'd be
point in my
amazing.
life.
Did you pause? This is the
Of course,
rhetorical
of course, I
question.
paused
Yeah,
and watched for a while. She didn't see me.
What was the address of the woman? I just didn't
Somewhere on Long Island.
make sure it's 3, 4, 8, 9. All right. Probably like 30 years ago. She's probably like 80.
Yeah, Henry,
right now.
you know there's easier ways to see tits. I will say, though, my favorite porn site got shut down this week. I'm at a loss.
You're not having a great month.
No, I'm having a real bad month. Hey, listeners out there, slide into my DMs and let me know the good porn sites.
Did you?
I've been using this one for years.
Did you get your money back from
Henry,
your bank?
Have I gotten money back? I've gotten some.
Oh, they're trickling it into you?
Yeah, they're trickling it in.
Making sure you wasn't a scam.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
All right, so we have to. So the lady flashes those kids. It's great. You get a sweet shot of her boobs, and then we cut to everyone splits up, right?
Yes, as per usual.
As per usual. The boy Sean goes to check on the car, and then everyone else looks for. I don't even know why they're looking. Why don't they just
I don't know
stay
either.
with this lady?
It's very strange, and we talk about this a lot in movies. We talked about it over the last week, but of all the let's go find something and look for something because we're broken down movies of these four, this is the most inexplicable.
They're somewhere. They're with a person who they think isn't a killer.
Right.
And then they're like, let's go find someone else.
Yep, and they go through another very stagey, desolate patch of trees, and Matthew McConaughey's introduced, and just right off the bat, it's not the Viggo thing, it's not the Viggo Mortensen thing here. He's just right off the bat.
He pretends to be a good guy for 30 seconds, and then he ducks down to help the kid they ran over and just snaps his neck. It's actually a pretty good moment.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was going to do that.
No, me too. But McConaughey makes this performance is done with some vigor.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think
for a guy who didn't want to get this movie put out, he's having fun making it.
Well, that's the weird part. I guess it's like when I asked you earlier, you pretty much answered it career-wise, but I suppose he just maybe also wanted to just play a fucking maniac, and so then when it comes out. He has this fight to not have it released, but I'm thinking present day McConaughey would probably look back on this and be like, yeah, just release it. It's fucking funny, man.
McConaughey at the time was trying to make the transition into serious acting. And I think now he doesn't give a fuck.
No.
I mean, by 2008, he was making his fucking passion project, Surfer Dude.
Oh, yeah. No, but it was harmed on the making of this movie.
They apparently had trouble. This movie was so cheap, they all shared a Winnebago, the entire cast and crew.
You know what's so funny? When I was watching this movie, and there was this specific sequence in the house at the end when they're all at the dinner table, and the Illuminati guy's licking Renee Zellweger.
Oh God, he licks her forever.
Yeah, and she's running out the door, and I did have the thought. God, I bet this was not a pleasant movie to even experience in the making of. And then afterwards is when I read that indeed it was not.
Yeah, seemed like a hard one. Yeah. So they finally come across a house. This is Barry and Heather.
Yes.
At one point, Barry's great. Heather asks Barry to carry her piggyback, and without skipping a beat, Barry just responds, "Lose 20 pounds."
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
So they finally find this house. First thing, it's Leatherface's house, basically.
Yeah.
And here's the first thing I noticed, Henry.
What's that?
I want to know if you noticed it too. Leatherface appears to have done some work on this house. Now, what might he have installed outside?
Well, I definitely think he installed a porch swing.
He certainly did. And now I think that's proof. It's Leatherface. He likes porch swings.
He likes porch swings. We know he's a tinkerer. He likes to build.
Yeah.
He's probably got some...
And, it looks like he's building these porch swings for a couple to hang out on, but I think it's just him and his chainsaw.
Sure, just swinging him and his gold chainsaw, just swinging him and his wig and his badly drawn female mask.
Yeah. He's extra cross-dressy in this one.
Oh, big time. This is he's. I think he's wrestling with some issues.
Well, the first shot of the movie is Zellweger's mouth. You see, like, her putting on this like deep red lipstick, and then there's a matching shot later in the movie with Leatherface doing the same thing.
Well, and you said we'd get to it, but that's exactly why when I thought of Silence of the Lambs, because that's a fucking Buffalo Bill shot.
Yeah,
him
but
putting on the lipstick up close with the camera.
I know you're right, but there is precedent at least. Like, he does wear like rouge and lipstick in the first one.
True.
Over the mask.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, so like I mean, I'm hesitant to call it a ripoff, but it did seem a little more. Just because it's the 90s. This felt like a movie from the mid-90s.
I'm sorry, what?
I said this felt like a movie from the mid-90s in many ways. Just the look and feel of it. And I thought the score felt like 90s TV. It reminded me of like the first season of Buffy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't even going to call it a ripoff because I think the movie is very self-parodying. It's going to be aware of what it's doing. I think Kim Henkel at this point is definitely self-referencing a lot of stuff. So
that said, I also think watching part 2 and part 4, we've like now discovered like who brings what to that franchise. And I think the comedy and satire comes from Tobe Hooper, not Kim Henkel.
Okay.
This is a much more surface movie. I think it's the same thing where, like, now that Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant don't work together anymore, if you watch their stuff together, it's like, oh, Stephen Merchant's much funnier. And then you watch the Ricky Gervais stuff, and it's like, oh, he brought the pathos and shit. And now neither of their stuff is as good anymore because Ricky's is all pathos and Stephen Merchant's has no heart.
They need each other.
They need each other, yeah.
Yeah. You know, you brought up something we haven't talked about at all, which I'm sure Evil Chris would want us to mention at some point. But I got to say, of all the horror franchises probably ever that we've covered, this seems to me to at least have the most subliminal to the point where I don't even notice score. All 4 of them.
I did in the fourth one. I did in the fourth one only because it was so TV. It didn't seem like it belonged to a movie. And it might have been like a rush job. Like maybe they only had like a certain amount of money to put it out like before the theatrical release. I don't know, but it's bad.
I just don't even notice them.
I hear what you're saying with the first 3. I previously
I don't have an opinion whether they're bad or good. They're almost not there, but I know that they're present. I assume. I mean, but almost through all 4 of them, I almost feel like there is no musical score. It's just all sound effects.
It's a lot of vring vring and a lot of screaming, and that's the way they create the atmosphere.
Yeah, true.
Whistling wind and things like that.
Yeah,
That's a lot of these movies. Like before they meet Leatherface, it's always like.
Right.
Ring, ring. Okay, so Leatherface puts up a porch swing and he kills Heather on it. And
that was her, by the way.
That was what?
That was a car I was driving away on the highway. Did you catch that?
No.
Oh, that's what I was doing. While you were whistling, I was trying to do a car.
All right, how about this?
Is that a chainsaw?
That's the Doppler effect.
I wasn't aware there was going to be any math.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, so Leatherface killed JFK. Talk on that.
You sounded like Linda coffee talk.
I was trying to be like Larry King. That's a Larry King question.
Yeah, Leatherface killed JFK. Talk on
Go.
Let me snap my suspenders for a second. Yeah, well, it's the Illuminati. I mean, it's that they don't veil it. I got to give it props for that. They don't do a Halloween 3 trick where they allude to it. They just come out and say it and then show it.
Yeah, but I mean, it is dumb. I mean, it's the fourth movie in a slasher franchise. Cue the bullshit mythologizing.
Yeah, and then they don't really explain. They allude to the fact that it all serves a larger, deeper purpose. But I really was thinking this. So this weirdo guy comes to the door. McConaughey is subservient to him, clearly. He won't touch him. He won't, but the guy says, "You're doing some. This is appalling." He says, "This is appalling."
Well, the idea is to scare them into having some sort of a spiritual experience, but he seems to imply that Vilmer, Matthew McConaughey's character, is doing it wrong, and it's never really explained what he's doing wrong.
Right. And we're going from, so they're responsible for the JFK assassination. Now we've gotten the bar so low, the Illuminati have, that they're really just focused on getting some teens from a prom.
I know. Maybe it's like Cabin in the Woods. Like maybe we're sacrificing them to a higher power or something.
That's what I was thinking about because of recently watching Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
But
they said that the Illuminati's been around for like 2,000 years or something like that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, and they're in charge of the government, the American government.
American government.
Yeah, and
so they've been around since Jesus.
What?
They've been around since Jesus, 2,000 years.
Right. Yeah. Maybe Jesus started it.
Hey, one mythology is as good as another.
Sure.
Yeah.
So this Illuminati guy, he has a maze carved into his chest, and his chest is pierced. It's very weird.
What's that?
He licks the shit out of Renee Zellweger. Like, it is just unreal.
How many movies do we have to watch where a guy does that?
There's so much licking. You know why? It's because it's in lieu of rape. It's like if you don't want your main character to get raped, but you want to like scare the audience with the threat of sexual violence, like the worst thing we can show without it being like an actual like sex crime is a dude licking somebody.
We saw this recently in another movie.
It was in Lone Wolf and Cub.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
You know, another movie that does that is Braveheart.
Yeah, not surprising.
Before they grab and kill Braveheart's first love, one of the scummy dukes or whatever, he grabs her and licks her face. Yeah.
Fucking torture porn.
All right.
Did you notice at the beginning of the scene when McConaughey enters, he does an all right?
Yes, I did.
That was exciting.
That was amazing. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I really couldn't believe it.
I thought he only did that in Dazed and Confused and awards shows.
Exactly. No, he says it, folks. Believe us. I caught it. It was hard to miss. Because I was like shocked. Yeah.
Already at this point, he was like, "That's gonna be my thing."
Clearly. And then he realized that it was probably one of those things that he needed to just save up. Couldn't do it in every movie or it would lose its resonance.
It should be the first line in all of his movies.
Everything.
Open on Matthew McConaughey. All right. Exposition.
He wins a case in The Lincoln Lawyer and he's just like,
all right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Henry, what happens next? They escape. Zellweger gets the fuck out of there. They chase her. It's boring. A plane shows up and like fucking North by Northwest and kills McConaughey. You know,
that's a good pilot, by the way.
I was starting to think Kim Henkel. Maybe we should have gotten fucking John Landis to direct this movie.
There you go, John.
He would have really added an air of authenticity to a plane's propellers murdering somebody.
That and car crashes. When you think about it, Blues Brothers.
Yeah, great stuff.
And he could have handled the car crashes.
That's right. He stages great car crashes, and he murders legendary actors and 2 children with plane propellers.
Don't think that that's John Landis's handiwork in that sequence of The Twilight Zone.
Yes, it is.
Are you sure?
Yes, John Landis is a murderer who should be in prison.
All right, you said it with conviction. So, I always, he does, because he does the opening sequence with Aykroyd and Albert Brooks. and then he directs one sequence. Is that his sequence? The fucking Vic Morrow one?
His is the Vic Morrow one. Joe Dante does the fucking weird one with the cartoon. Spielberg does Kick the Can.
And George Miller did the other one. Right. Yep. Okay. Wow. Right.
Fuck John Landis and his whole stupid fucking family. Should be wiped off the face of the planet. John Landis should be in prison to this day.
I thought it was an accident.
It was an accident because we were filming with two kids in the middle of the night using a helicopter.
I never really read up on
we
that.
broke child labor laws and he killed two kids.
Oh, wow. I never really read up on that whole thing.
Read up on it. It's pretty damning.
Damn. Wow. Again, the CAA, they fought for him.
Yeah, great stuff. Oh, so we do a copy of the end of the first one, just like we always do. I did like the Winnebago couple. There's like these old people. They're
weird.
we're trying to top the great truck driver from the end of the first one.
Not going to happen.
So it's not going to happen, but it is a good old elderly couple. And it was sort of like all of a sudden at the end of the movie, like Jack Nicholson and June Squibb from About Schmidt show up.
Oh my God, I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that it's fucking About Schmidt.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
A lot of squibs in these movies. You could have added a June. All right.
This Chainsaw Massacre by Dan Ehrenberg.
Yeah. Hey, Zellweger, by the way, one of the ways she escaped, she jumped through a closed window. Excited to see that come back.
I did see that too. You know, it does do some very effectively weird callbacks where like shit I thought I wouldn't remember. As soon as they do it, I'm like,
that's right.
What? That's cool.
We're referencing all the best stuff from the first one that no one but me cares about. No one but us cares about.
I mean,
we got a porch swing callback.
Yeah. Also, I did want to ask you what we see. Darla has a weird line to Renee Zellweger, where when she's telling in the kitchen after she illuminates about the Illuminati, she tells her that they put a chip in her head and she couldn't if she wanted to.
Yeah, and Zellweger's telling her, like, you're nuts, like, that's a lie, and she seems to insist that it's real. She does have a chip in her head. There's just a lot of question as to what's going on. She sets up the idea that before she was with McConaughey, she was, like, legitimately, like, a travel agent and, like, married with, like, she was living a normal life.
I missed that.
Yeah, and McConaughey, like, recruited her into this Illuminati cult.
She says something like that?
Yes.
She
certainly says that she had a husband.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right. Wow. God damn.
I loved that character.
She was good.
Mm-hmm.
She was good.
Her IMDb page is because this is like the only thing she ever did. So like her IMDb page is just like quotes from critics saying nice things about her performance in this movie.
Oh, that's nice. That's kind of silly. She didn't do anything else. She was pretty good. I mean, she's not a bad actress.
She's from Canada. At the age of 16, she was voted top teen actor in her province.
In her province.
Yeah.
What province?
It doesn't say. But it says, of her performance in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, Variety's Joe Layden called her the most stunningly sexy sociopath to hit the screen since Linda Fiorentino steamed up The Last Seduction.
Wow. Comparing this to The Last Seduction.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is good, though. I mean, when she stops at the drive-in for the pizzas and all that shit. By the way, I want to know where that place is.
Oh.
Drive-in pizza?
Yeah, FYI, sounds drive-through pizza,
rather.
Of course. I mean, I think you can do that with some Pizza Huts, can't you?
Oh.
They don't have a drive-through?
That maybe they do.
It's not real pizza, I get it.
No, that sucks.
It says that she took a long hiatus from a lifetime of acting after a family tragedy, and she has recently been in talks about appearing in a very coveted role in a groundbreaking film which starts filming August 2015. So look out for that actress in Avatar 2.
Get the fuck out of
No,
here.
I'm
Avatar.
joking. I made that up.
That was very convincing. You sounded like the Blockbuster guide.
Yeah, right. No, she's she's in Varsity Blues as Miss Davis. I think that might be the teacher they find stripping at a strip joint.
What year was Varsity Blues?
99.
All right, so she hung around for a little bit.
Her last credit, though, is in a short film in 2004.
Okay.
That said, she's my MVP. I thought she was really great, and I think the best scene in the movie by a lot is the scene in her little trailer.
It probably is, but I gotta say, hearkening back to what we said about Vigo in the third one, I had to give mine to Matthew McConaughey in this one. He's wild, he's crazy. I thought this movie really sucked. I did not enjoy it at all. But I did like it. I liked 3 more.
I like this by a lot in favor of 3 because, and it's funny, I'm going to give them the same grade. This is a 2. There's no way this can get higher than a 2.
This is a 1 for me.
Not for me. I just think that it's weird enough. It brings in the Illuminati. You do have Matthew McConaughey and Renee Zellweger, both like great actors, actually trying. They both have star power on, like they both have charisma.
I think this would have been a 2, but for the extended kitchen sequence,
the final sequence.
It
goes on forever.
Forever.
Honestly, I was thinking this is a contender for a 3 until that sequence.
Yeah,
it really lost me in the third act.
It's too much. It's there's too much. All the women are just getting
and we
slapped around constantly. It's
correct.
Just too much,
they spent the entire movie getting called fat because of that dude Barry, and then the rest of the movie they're just getting slapped around and licked and shit.
It's awful.
And I don't know, man. It's a lot, that last act of the movie. It goes on forever, and we sort of brush aside McConaughey and make the Illuminati guy the main villain, which doesn't totally work.
No, and she gets in the limo.
Yeah, there's that weird scene where he picks her up in a limo. FYI.
Why'd she get in?
I don't know. Well, because he had licked her by that point.
Yeah, and she's free.
Yeah.
Leatherface is still running around, so.
Yeah, oh, that's true. I thought that, I don't know. I don't know why she got in the fucking limo, man. Oh, the thing I was going to say about the limo is it's not a good-looking limo. And this happens with low-budget movies. Like, they couldn't afford, like, a stretched limo or something.
True.
Like, this is a guy who's in the Illuminati.
Yeah,
he should have, like, a crazy-looking...
Yeah, he should.
He should be like a fucking Man in Black or whatever.
Yeah. Or at least get from McConaughey, borrow a Lincoln. Am I right?
He wasn't promoting that at this stage of the game. All you could borrow from McConaughey in 1995 was fucking bongos and weed.
Be better if you did.
Be a whole lot better if you did have some bongos. I liked this movie. It's definitely better than the third one. Not as good as the first 2. I give it a 2. MVP, that weird sociopath. LVP. The boyfriend that McConaughey kills. Sean, the guy who's not really the boyfriend. You
just said your MVP was Darla.
Right, and my LVP is that guy.
You just said weird sociopath. Okay,
yeah. Darla's a weird sociopath.
Oh, all right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Darla and wow. So you're giving it not to Barry.
I think this is 2 straight movies where we've just had a fucking drip. Barry's great. I love a good bully, and Barry's fantastic.
Yeah. My MVP is Matt, and my LVP is Heather, Lisa Marie Newmeyer, whose dialogue for the first 25 minutes of the movie is so irritating. It was
I thought she was fine. I thought she was hot. She reminded me a little bit of like a poor man's PJ Souls.
A broke man's PJ Souls, yeah. However, she is the sole superhero count.
Oh, really? What's she been in?
Well,
excuse me, Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey? Never, huh?
No, we knew that when we did our, rankings. They weren't in anything.
They don't give a fuck anymore. Like, those two at this point in their career, like, they're elder statesmen.
Yeah,
they don't need to be busting their asses in front of green screens.
No, but I still predict that McConaughey will turn up in something. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, but I feel like it might be like a dad role. He'll have like the Michael Douglas role in Ant-Man.
I think so. I think he will, and I wouldn't object.
Yeah.
No. Make him Ant-Man's weed dealer.
Ant-Man's weed dealer.
Sure.
Not bad, buddy.
Yeah. All right, so she was Tammy in Sin City.
Oh, okay. I mean, even that's not really a superhero count. It's just like they shot it in Austin because Robert Rodriguez.
But Sin City's a comic book. We always include Sin City.
I know, but it's not really like whatever. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, great superhero count. Before we go, Henry, can we do the superhero count from?
Yes.
What is it from? An Award Bros?
Yes. So this is a long overdue thing. Apologies to Madison.
Madison 8-Bit's one of our great listeners, one of our best listeners.
Yes.
I think that. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed to the Patreon. It's at the $5 tier. We do a show called Award Bros, where and it's been like a funny thing where we've done superhero counts for the Award Bros episodes. Josh Lemur has done it in the past, and here Madison stepped up for the 12 Years a Slave year at the Oscars. So we're just gonna read that here because we keep forgetting to on the Patreon.
All right, Madison, this is for you, and you did it for us, so thank you. Anne Hathaway made an appearance there at those Oscars, I guess, as a presenter or whatever.
Yeah, but what's she been in?
Well, Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises.
Of course, right.
Michael Fassbender, of course, played Magneto.
Wait, I want to guess some of these because these are big names.
Okay.
All right, so he's Magneto.
From now on, you will guess.
Okay.
Jonah Hill.
Moneyball. I don't know. What's even? 21 Jump Street?
She's counting. God bless her. She's counting the Lego movie franchise.
Holy shit.
She played Green Lantern.
Well, that's a superhero, sure.
Yeah. Jared Leto.
The Joker. He's my favorite Joker.
He's everybody's
bar none. Everybody's favorite Joker.
Jim Carrey.
Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog. Oh, Kick-Ass.
Yes.
Kick-Ass 2, actually.
Right. Colonel Stars and Stripes in Kick-Ass 2, and of course...
Oh, the Riddler, right.
Right. Which still contains one of my favorite Dan lines ever, one of 5 times in 4 years where I truly could not gain control of myself and thought we might have to stop, but we'd already stopped that recording.
When I told him to sit down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, when you said... You were very angry because that was a tough night for both of us because the recording technology hadn't
right. I had just moved into this apartment.
And I was hadn't had my Ethernet cable yet. And it was raining. And then Dan just said with all the vitriol he could muster, he said, I need Jim Carrey to sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
Lost it. Kerry Washington.
Scandal.
Right. You'll never get some of these. She went all out, Madison. This is a very long list.
Okay, well let's move. Let's keep it going at a clip.
And maybe you don't want to guess every one of them. She played Princess Shuri / Baker Woman in the Black Panther TV miniseries.
All right. Well, I get one guess. Okay, one guess, and then you answer.
Okay. Well, I'm not done with Kerry Washington.
Oh God. All right. What else?
How's it feel, Madison? You're getting the oh gods. That's what I'd welcome to my fucking world. She played Alicia Masters in the Fantastic Four.
That's
franchise.
right. Yeah, they made her black.
Okay.
The Thing's blind girlfriend.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Okay. Sam Jackson.
Yeah, he's Nick Fury and shit.
And he's Valentine in Kingsman: The Secret Service, and she counted.
Wait! I got another one. Isn't he also in the Spirit?
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Did I get Madison?
Yeah. She counted Shaft though.
All right, he's kind of a superhero.
Channing Tatum.
21 Jump Street.
No. Superman in the Lego movie franchise.
Right. What else you got?
Tequila in Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
Oh, yeah.
And Duke in the G.I. Joe franchise.
Okay. Oh, that's right. He's very funny in that Kingsman movie.
I would like to point out she did right. I don't know comics that well, but I did my best, and I stand by the inclusions I made, even if some of them are a bit unconventional.
Well, listen, I encourage always standing by shit, even if you're unequivocally wrong.
Sally Field.
Sally Field. How about that?
Easy one.
Yeah, she's Aunt May in The Amazing Spider-Man.
The best of the Spider-Man.
My favorite Spider-Man.
Baby head. All right, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, it's me, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He played some stupid fucking character in that third Dark Knight movie.
All right, it's a good character. He plays Robin, for Christ's sake. And he was in G.I. Joe: The Rise of Cobra, playing the Doctor/Rex.
Great. What accent is he doing in that?
Not sure. Bradley Cooper, one of the original reasons for the superhero
Rocket
council.
Raccoon.
There you go. All right. Oh, turned my phone the wrong way and the screen flipped. All right. Kevin Spacey.
The best Lex Luthor.
Oh my God. You should be ashamed of yourself. Angelina Jolie.
Upcoming in the Eternals.
Look at you. Mm-hmm. Madison even wrote upcoming.
Very nice.
And she was also Fox in Wanted.
That's right, yeah. They flipped that one in the opposite direction. That was a black character in the comic that they made white.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Well, here's a black lady, Viola Davis.
Oh, she was Amanda Waller in the Suicide Squad. I remember that.
Going out a clip now. Ewan McGregor.
Dr. Sleep. No, I don't remember. What's he in?
In theaters right now.
Ewan McGregor is in theaters right now? God, I'm so used to ignoring him. Oh, he's in Birds of Prey. Or The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Or its replacement title. Have you seen they changed the title?
No.
Oh, it's tanking, Henry. And if you pay attention to websites like IMDb or if you go to the theater and happen to see a movie on the marquee, you might notice that it's no longer called Birds of Prey. It's called Harley Quinn.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why the fuck wasn't it just called that to begin with?
I don't know.
Jesus Christ. All right. Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry? First of all, he was at the Oscars that year? Sure. I don't know. Gone Girl?
Baxter Stockman in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows.
Great. Brad
Pitt.
Cool World.
Vanisher in Deadpool 2.
Oh, that's right. For like 1 second. Go ahead.
That's thus Vanisher. Michael B. Jordan.
Black Panther. He's the villain.
That's right. He's also Johnny Storm in Fantastic Four.
That's right, yeah.
And apparently, I've covered this when we did Creed. He was also Cyborg in Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox animated.
Booyah.
Chris Hemsworth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's Thor.
Yeah, there you go. Charlize Theron.
Atomic Blonde.
That's probably as equaling deserving as this.
What is
she
it?
played Mary in Hancock.
Oh, God. I mean, that is a superhero movie.
Yeah. Jennifer Lawrence.
Mystique, right.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Black Panther?
Yes.
Okay.
I like your hesitation on sounding racist.
Yep.
She played Nakia in Black Panther. Amy Adams.
Oh, my favorite Lois Lane.
That's
what a
right.
beautiful performance she gives.
She's good in Man of Steel. And she played Jodie Melville in Smallville.
Yep. She's fat, Henry. She's wearing a fat suit at the beginning of her Smallville episode, and then something magical happens, and she becomes skinny and hot. But she has to suck the life energy out of people to keep herself skinny and hot, or else she'll become fat again.
What a great show I missed on it.
It's fantastic.
Bill Murray.
Ghostbusters.
Garfield in Garfield.
That doesn't count. Stop it.
Madison, I want you to know something right now from the bottom of my
I
heart.
think you've got to count Garfield from now on.
I am on your side on this entire endeavor. I'm loving every fucking second of this.
Yeah.
Every second
Next
of
year, you're going to be like Walter Matthau, Dennis the Menace.
Anna Kendrick.
Something fucking stupid. I don't know.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Stacy Pilgrim in Scott Pilgrim
That's
versus
right,
the World.
yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Star Trek.
Bernadette Thompson in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Unspecified. I assume she means maybe the original movie? I don't know. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Star Trek. No, he's Doctor Strange.
Jennifer Garner.
Did you hear Sam Raimi might direct the new Doctor Strange movie?
No, but I'm cool
Scott
with that.
Derrickson dropped out due to creative problems or something, and looks like Sam Raimi is going to do it. All right, who'd you say?
Jennifer Garner.
Elektra. Go ahead.
Chris Evans.
Captain America and Johnny Storm and Cellular.
And Lucas Lee in Scott Pilgrim versus the
That's
World.
right. Yeah, one of the evil ex-boyfriends.
And
He was partnered up in that movie with Brandon Routh.
so one good superhero performance and one awful one.
That's
Wow.
right.
Like
One Brandon Routh being the good one.
Right. And he also played Casey in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Casey Jones. Go ahead.
Glenn Close.
Glenn Close.
This is true. This is a real one.
What?
Nova Prime in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
John Travolta.
How many more are there?
Only like 14.
14.
No, there's not that many more.
Oh, John
John
Travolta. Oh, I watched Michael this morning, one of the worst movies of all time.
The way you spend your time.
Yeah, Travolta. Oh, he's in that Punisher movie.
Correct. Jessica Biel.
She's Beale.
You can get this. You can get this.
I
We
can
just
get-
ranked her.
I know. Seventh Heaven. What is it? Oh, Blade Trinity.
Jamie Foxx. I forgot about this.
He played Electro in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I never saw.
Yeah, I did in theaters. Robert De Niro.
Joker.
Yeah. Kate Blanchett.
Thor Ragnarok.
Well done. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Black Panther.
Nope.
Really? He should have
Nice.
played Black Panther.
He would have been awesome. But yeah, no. This is a good one. This is a good catch. I forgot he was in this movie.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. What has he been in? Dirty Pretty Things. Serenity. What else?
Let's go
12
through
Years
his
a Slave.
filmography. He played Mordo in Doctor Strange.
I have no memory of that. Oh, yes, I do. He was like a villain. Go ahead.
All right. Christian Bale.
He's Batman.
And he's Walter Wade Jr. in Shaft.
And, he's the villain. That's right. He's upcoming. He just signed on to be in a superhero thing.
He did?
Yeah, it was like a big deal because it's weird because he's already Batman.
Well, all of them have been somebody else at this point. That doesn't mean anything anymore. That just surprises me about him specifically.
I think I read that. Let's look it up.
He crosses over. Well, look it up after the final one.
Okay,
There's one
go
more
ahead.
to go. Will Smith.
Will Smith is Hancock, if we're counting that.
And
and Suicide Squad, he was Deadshot or whatever the fuck.
that's it. Thank you, Madison. Great job. Very thorough. I know that's a lot of work because I do it.
Looks like Christian Bale may be in Thor Love and Thunder, the new Thor movie, but we don't know as what yet.
Wow. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
All right. Great episode, Henry. Love talking Texas.
Talking Tex. Talking Tex. What are your ranks so far? I got some.
Easy. 1, 2, 4, 3.
Mine are 1, 3, 4, 2.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't. 2 is last. You think?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That's dumb.
I hated that movie, motherfucker.
All right. Next week on the show, I can't believe we're only halfway through this franchise. How are you going to milk 4 more movies out of this?